The Sabir project is a co-design initiative fostering the network of NAECs from the Mediterranean. The project, led by the OAE Center Italy, was named Sabir as the Mediterranean lingua franca. This was a language that was used in the Mediterranean basin from the 11th to the 19th century. Our goal was to exchange best practices and enhance the outcome of previous experiences and projects that were led, that included actually NAECs from the Mediterranean countries. The outcome of this project are multilingual published activities that were designed for high school students in a spirit of an inquiry-based learning or IBL approach. But let's start from the beginning. So the co-design is a pillar of the approach that is used by the Italian Office of Astronomy for Education. Co-design was in fact largely exploited as the method of several previous projects led by the same center, in particular Mirto, STEAM-Med, and within last year also Fresco, that will be presented in the evaluation session. Since the OAE Center Italy is located in the Mediterranean area, the idea was to build a community of Mediterranean actors within this approach. The Mediterranean co-design approach has these different aspects that are listed here. So it fosters a person-centered learning, fosters also the collaboration between peers, between NAECs. It has a strong interculturality aspect, and astronomy here is also used as a tool for learning, also social skills, and it enhances previous experiences. One of the main outcomes of the Sabir project, as I said, is to deliver IBL-like activities for the final target of high school students. The particular emphasis here is to promote and encourage innovative, open, and critical learning. Within these overall goals, we want also to emphasize the social aspect that is related to the strengthening of a community around in the Mediterranean area, around the Mediterranean NAECs, enhancing best practices and also implementing the MET co-design process. At the start of the Sabir project, our first step was to build a common ground. So we were asking ourselves, what is an IBL activity in this context? An activity that is inquiry-based and generally contains a number of specific parts that goes from orientation, conceptualization, investigation, and conclusions, and those parts are related among each other. Frequently, the need of discussion and reflection among students leads to a deeper understanding of the initial problem that wants to be addressed in the activity. Now, the first thing that we noticed is that preparing an educational activity, a common bias, is that we focus on the content area, so enhancing the investigation area of this graph. And this was, in fact, our case. We made an initial survey among the participants, finding that not only the content area was prevalent, but also that some of the connections between different areas were missing or underrepresented. Therefore, after we settled common ground, the participants to the Sabir project were asked to focus on the skills area. And in particular, this could also lead to a more scientific approach in the learning. Also, they agreed on enhancing the discussion among students. So to reach this goal, we tried to answer two general questions: how to engage the students and how to create the conditions for the students to discuss and openly express themselves. The project itself developed in the following way. We started with a first meeting in February where we needed to present the general aspect of the project. And in the second meeting in March, we started from the same grounds, especially with what our activities would look like, and we were brainstorming about possible ideas and projects. The online part, that is basically the red and the gray part of the co-design process, was the basically the gray part was the co-design process that was at work, since participants presented the initial structures of the activities and were given the opportunity to co-design each other's activity. The last part of the project was realized as an in-person residency in Milan, in Italy. And the final phase, so the residency in Milan, was in the beginning of September and was really very intense. Each of the participants co-designed the final stages of their project, and the co-design was happening in pairs with one facilitator, and overall there was one of us that was in charge of the evaluation of the process. The activities that we chose were different. Two of them, the first two, asteroid mining and exploring exoplanets, were proposed as mostly new activities, while the other two, about water rockets and the place in our universe, were two activities that were already developed and tested, but in a non-IBL context or not completely IBL context. Initial activities were developed also with the help of other NAECs from the same countries that are listed here. All the activities were and will be submitted to AstroEdu editorial board, and the activities that were already published are here in orange. Each of the activity will be translated after publication into different languages: Arabic, French, Spanish, Turkish, Slovenian, and Italian. So I should also say something about the evaluation. So the evaluation of this project is happening in two different ways. So it will be done on the process and on the activities. So looking at the co-design process, our goal is to evaluate how the, let's say, translation of activities into IBL-like activities had an impact on the community of Mediterranean NAECs. The other aspect that will be evaluated are the activities themselves. We want to understand if the activities were in fact developed as inquiry ones, so are compliant within the IBL structure, or how relevant the inquiry is when activities are done in different countries. What we learned from this project is that the co-design is not straightforward. It can be very slow, especially the online part could be very, very slow. The discussion in pairs during the residency was in fact very efficient, and also it was facilitated by the fact that the NAECs knew each other. The activities were tried to be developed from content-oriented to skills-oriented, and the building of a community, as I said, has a very positive impact on the project. The evaluation of the activities will be done also by testing the activities in schools with questionnaires or with interviews. And during the evaluation, there will be time also to write the teacher's guide and the student's guide. And if anyone wants to participate to evaluation or help us with the translation, we will be very thankful to them. So thanks also to all the people involved. So Aishagul, Naira, Jean-Pierre and Hassan, and all the others that helped in the developing of this project. Thank you.